What's up, everybody? Justin and Tyler from the Garbage Rollers. It is Sunday. What day is it? July 27th?
7th?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
We just finished up the last of the Galactic Championship.
It's over.
The first Galactic Champion was crowned.
Mm-hmm.
Philip?
He's
Felipe? Benton?
Yeah.
On Team Enigma from
is he Polish?
Polish, I think.
He's Polish?
Yeah, so he's been crushing Europe, so no shocker he beat Lego Pizza, aka Ian Klein, in the finals from the Botham Network. So it's pretty awesome matches. We watched top four pretty closely. It was Ophir, our friend Wu, against Ian. And that was super tight until Ophir didn't draw turn 1 or 2 play. That was crazy.
That'll get you.
Poor guy. Still made it competitive, but couldn't come across. And then the finals, man, it was tight. Both games, Talzin, Felipe's Talzin were getting ahead, and then Ian would bring it back with the Kylo flip and just do 20 damage on flips.
Just bam.
Absurd. Like, really cool deck design they came up with.
Crazy how fast those games got competitive.
But yeah, it was a really fun main event watching at the end of the day. But we figured, we're here still. We got 12 hours until our flight. We'll get some sleep. But we figured we'd kind of just recap our thoughts while it's all fresh. We had quite the experiences over the weekend, good and bad. So figured we'd just kind of talk through it all at once.
I mean, it's fitting, right? We came to Vegas and we had a weekend of extremes.
Very much a roller coaster. I guess let's start with, at the end of the day, did you have fun this weekend?
Yeah, I had fun this weekend. Did I have to really put in the work to make that fun happen? Yes. But was it to be had? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I came away with a bunch of swag. So
as you can see, it's like 5 playmats you picked up.
Mm-hmm.
You got some promos. You got some black packs.
Yep.
You posted shorts opening those on the channel, so go check that out if you didn't see.
They're neat.
Silver packs. We both got convention exclusive packs. The droids. Those are pretty cool.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I too would say I had fun over the weekend. But you worded it pretty well. I had to put in the work to have the fun. FFG didn't really provide that on their own. There was a lot of shortcomings over the weekend and disappointment and unmet expectations that required me to look for the fun spots and make the most of it, I would say.
Here's a question for you. If Discord didn't exist and we weren't sort of plugged into the community hive mind on where to be and what to do, could you have navigated this event?
Heck no.
That's my thought. If you were showing up unconnected to the broader community and trying to rely on FFG comms to make this work, there's no way.
Yeah, there's a few different things that can sum up the weekend, but one of the biggest ones was definitely just miscommunication or no communication. So it was just difficult traversing all the hurdles that presented themselves, whether it was lines or side event tickets that you didn't get, or tons of different stuff that came up. And you would hear from the grapevine of somebody heard from somebody that if you do this, you could get this, but sometimes that was true, sometimes that wasn't true, and it was just it was a mess. So it was definitely fun for me. It was really awesome to me. It was at least 100 people that came up and said hi. Love reading your stuff or watching your stuff. I can't believe how many people said, hey, I wake up every morning and I watch your gameplay videos.
This is for you. This is for you. You're here.
It was hilarious to me. It's like that's the first thing you encounter every day is our hands moving some cards around and talking crap playing Star Wars. So that
we really appreciate it.
Very humbling.
Thank you.
So appreciate that. So that was cool. It's also worth mentioning. This is our 5th or 6th episode of the GarbageCast, but the first one in audio-visual format.
It's true. It's true. We have a variety of seating formats.
Yeah.
That we're
if you haven't noticed, Tyler is very short and I am raised for some reason.
Our hotel room had 2 chairs.
Yeah, and
That's what we
these are
have.
the 2 chairs, and we figured you might appreciate this more than us laying romantically in the bed. But maybe if you would prefer that, check out our OnlyFans later.
Link in bio.
But yeah, I figured we'd go through some topics and just kind of talk through the different difficulty points, kind of the areas where FFG struggled, things we had fun with still. But overall, I feel like there were several negative things that just, we need to talk about, and hopefully FFG is listening to the community. I know Facebook, Reddit, whatever, everybody's been harping it.
That's always going to be a cesspool.
Yeah, but hopefully people, FFG will take feedback. And since we're going to be back in Vegas next year, hopefully they'll improve the situation and we'll come back and it's a million times different.
Yeah, so if you didn't catch that, 2026's Galactic Championship will also be in Vegas at the Venetian.
July 24th through 26th, I believe.
So, yep, you can already mark your calendars.
So same weekend as San Diego Comic-Con again.
And
the weekend before Gen Con again. So
all
are
right.
you going to miss Gen Con 2 years in a row?
Probably. I mean, I did it 20 years in a row, so
It's brutal. All right, let's start off with just the whole registration process. Whether that was registering online months ago or the badge pickup or, all that.
Well, so I got a couple rounds of comms from FFG since I was a day 2 qualifier.
Yeah, you won the Dallas Planetary Qualifier back in set 3. That was November? January, okay. So that was kind of right before the Galactic Championship stuff actually opened up. So you were on the earlier end. I know several people that won after the fact, and even the weeks leading up to the Galactic Championship in June had very weird experiences getting everything sorted out. So
mine wasn't that bad, but there were a couple rounds of like emails from FFG being like, "Hey, you have a buy, you can go buy a badge." And then so I bought a badge, but then I got another email that was like, "Oh, we're going to comp your badge." And then so it was this like sort of layered process of, well, I bought, but then I want to upgrade, but then you're going to pay for some of it. So it's very much like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
But at the end of the day, they did cover
the basic entry, $50 worth of stuff.
So did you keep your premium entry?
Yeah, I stayed at premium, but then they paid for
just
whatever
the main
value was. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. And then rooming wise, I had already booked here at the Treasure Island through the KTOD room block, figuring that we would need that. And then they sent me an email like a month later that said, "Hey, you can have access to like our inside rate at the Venetian," but by then it was too late to use it. So, the earlier all those things could happen in the future, it would be logistically easier on.
I mean, theoretically, we know the GC is back here already a year ahead, so you would think they can kind of lead up things better. The qualifying system is different. If you did miss the announcement, basically you need 100 points to qualify for the Galactic Championship. Winning a PQ gets that. Top 8 of the sector, I believe. Top 16 in the regional, maybe. And then there's also a last chance qualifier, day 1 of the Galactic Championship next year. So lots of opportunities. So, I mean, you're going to hit that threshold throughout the year. So I'm curious to see how on top of it they will be for, oh, you hit the point. Congratulations. Details will come soon. Or if they're going to leave you in the dark until you randomly get an email that says, here's how you book or whatever.
Right. They'll just blast it to everybody a month ahead of time or something.
Yeah. So jury's still out on that. I'd say the biggest hiccup for registration for us was we went to the early badge pickup right at noon. So I was specifically like 10th person in the line, maybe.
One of the first, yeah.
And so the way they had it, I mean, they were scrambling. They were not ready at 12 for us. It didn't actually start till 12:20, 12:30, I think. And they were scrambling bags back and forth like you could, because they were giving out everything like the registration goodies, your side event tickets, everything in a bag. SWOO Galactic Championship logo on it. I think you can grab the one over there.
Yeah, we got it.
But basically, all they had to do was check your name, you show your ID, they hand you a bag, you're good to go on. Here you go. simple little tote
Bag.
bag, has the championship logo and SWU logo on the other side. What ended up happening was, for whatever reason, so all of day one or early badge pickup, you're supposed to get metal tokens as like an incentive to come pick up your badge early.
Right.
And so for whatever reason, they would put those in separately. And so what happened is they just didn't put them in lots of people's bags. And then you also had people like me that just didn't get our side event tickets. So I bought a premium badge. I was supposed to get $50 worth of side event tickets that you could use for the weekend to sign up for side events. And they just weren't in there. And I guess just handed a bag. So I assumed it was full of everything I needed. So walked back to my room, eventually looked at it later in the afternoon, realized it wasn't there. Checked Escort. Several people had the problem. Asked if we should go back. Somebody said, yeah. So we went back, I don't know, 3, 4 o'clock.
Once I was here. Yeah. And by the way, when we say go back to badge pickup, that's like literally like a mile walk.
Yeah.
From where we're at.
Like, even if you were staying in the Venetian, it's a pretty good walk from the hotel to the expo hall. It's inside at least.
Yeah.
But we're in Treasure Island across the street, so we got a brief walk across period. Walk through the mall kind of area, walk through the casino, walk through the expo hall, the very far end of the expo hall.
If you haven't been to Vegas and the Venetian, it's not like a building. It's literally
many buildings.
Like a square mile complex of stuff. So lots of walking to be done, even within the resort itself.
Yeah. So we went back when you picked up. You didn't get your side event tickets. I asked, and they said, oh, and I also hadn't gotten one of the metal tokens. So I asked, they gave me that and said, still don't have the side event tickets, so come back later.
Well, I think at that point they told us come back in the morning.
No,
right?
They said come back later.
Did they?
We came back another time, closer to 5, 6, and they still didn't have them. So they said, yeah, no problem. We'll for sure have them at 8 o'clock in the morning.
In the morning.
Come back the next morning, 8 o'clock promptly.
No event tickets.
No side event tickets. We met up with Unlimited Power Mark, and he had just come down from there. I mean, it was a couple hours later, about 10 o'clock. He had just come from there and said, no, they're still out.
Right.
And so we finally go back down there again after lunch.
At noonish.
And they're like, no, we still don't have them. We'll take down your name and phone number and
let you know when we have them.
Yeah. So
never got a text.
Never got
any
text.
comms.
They said we get an email as well. That never came.
That never happened.
Finally, in the main event hall at about 4:50, they announced if you did not get your side event tickets, they're now available down in the event hall or badge registration. So we're doing a few things. So we finally get down there about 5:30. We pick it up, and at this point, they had closed registration for side events for the day. So
we missed a whole day of where we could have potentially played side events and wanted to play side events and just weren't able to. And there was talk that you could have gone to the side event area and paid directly for event tickets, but that was never made clear.
Early in the morning, they told us, no, you have to have the side event physical tickets.
Yeah.
And so we worked on that knowledge all day, which apparently changed over the course of the day, but wasn't announced or communicated efficiently. So day one of SWU Galactic Championships, we did absolutely nothing.
So hold on. You missed one of the best parts of this, which is that the last time we went to try and go get event tickets and they gave them to us, they were like, oh, we're really sorry. Here's some compensation for you having to wait.
So as a premium ticket holder, I was given 500 prize wall tickets, which I would have made much more than that over the course of the day.
Yeah.
So that was, okay, that wasn't really much. And then also a few weekly play kit packs from sets 1 through 4.
And this would turn out to be a theme throughout the weekend, is that something would go wrong.
Here's
and
a Pop-Tart pack.
FFG would be like, here's a weekly play promo that you can open if you know the secret code method of opening, right?
I mean, we all know those packs are the absolute worst to open.
So hard to open.
They're so bad. But yeah, so that was what I got as a premium ticket holder. Tyler was also a premium ticket holder, but for whatever reason, they decided to give him the VIP compensation, which was
a random carbonite pack. And so I got that, opened it up, and got a Hyperspace Devastator. And I was like, oh, I don't feel so bad about this whole situation. And Justin's just fuming.
I got nothing.
Because he got basically nothing.
Like, what do you mean? This was terrible. Because I didn't buy a $500 badge, screw you, apparently.
Mm.
We had, we were off the same amount of the day, but we didn't get the same compensation.
Right.
We got a laughable amount of compensation. I don't know if the VIP compensation was even enough, but that was at least better than what I got.
And this kind of gets another theme of the weekend, which was there was plenty of stuff to do, but if what you wanted to do was actually play SWU, that was surprisingly hard to accomplish.
Yeah, it was very hard to accomplish. And the other theme was different people were given different things.
With no real rhyme or reason.
We'll go into that later.
Yeah.
So overall, registration was kind of a mess.
Mm-hmm.
The venue,
Venetian's great.
Venetian's great. Yeah, the expo halls were nice. I would have preferred us not to be at the very back of the Venetian expo halls.
Yeah.
But the main event hall was huge. Had the space to do everything. The collect space wasn't even fully used and was comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Wish they would have made more of a chill zone. There was basically few TVs, couch area, but that would house maybe 40, 50 people. So it's like, if you wanted to just chill and watch the stream, it's like you had to be one of the first people there, or you're probably gonna have to watch on your phone wherever you are.
Yeah.
So I would have loved to see that space bigger. There were several card vendors, so people were able to get singles they needed, or showcase, prestige, whatever they were looking for. There was a trade area you frequented.
Yeah,
I love that.
I did a lot of that the first day because that was one of the things I could do. Right,
we did do something the first day.
We did do something. One of the you haven't mentioned one of the the most meme-worthy elements of the weekend was every night when the hordes of middle-aged women would be coming in to watch Backstreet Boys at the Sphere.
Yep.
Right, we get to pass them going out, and they get to look at us like we're zoo animals.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the meme on Reddit, basically it's two roller coasters passing each other. One is the SWU Galactic players with a bunch of skeletons scaring
them.
And the other one's, the Backstreet Boys concert, and they're appalled. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Whoever did that, well done. So that was funny. But yeah, venue, I was a pretty big fan. It did the job. Wasn't really an issue. So everything's around here is expensive, but that's kind of pretty normal with convention areas. So I can't complain too much.
Maybe the one thing I would have liked from the venue is just a designated quiet space to just play pickup games.
Yes.
Playing in the convention hall, it's overwhelming from a sensory standpoint, right? If there was just a quiet, blocked off space to just play, would have loved that. Because trying to play in the casino food court, right, with the blinding assault,
especially at the end of the night, where it's they kicked us all out around 9 o'clock, and it's we were still doing stuff. So we'd meet up with people, get drinks, and try and play games. But it was very hard to find a place to do that.
Right. So, give us a space to continue the gaming after hours.
This kind of leans into this category, but there was a content creator area. Basically, we were able to use the space however we chose, whether that was meetups. We were originally going to do interviews with devs there, but they ended up giving us another room for that, so that didn't happen there. But for whatever reason, they could not turn on the lights in the area they put us.
Yes.
So it was just pitch black over there.
A very dark, mood-lit creator corner.
So originally, we wanted to play games with people that came and met us and just have fun, but
and that
pitch black over there
wasn't possible. Yeah.
Shout out to the Bucketheads. They ended up bringing full video audio equipment, and so they had lights. And so once they got it set up in late Friday afternoon, the rest of the weekend it was at least usable.
A little more usable, yeah.
But that was comedic to me, especially because if you look, so they told us that they couldn't turn on the lights because it would mess with the production of the stream. But if you looked where we were basically to the right of the stage. If you went to the left of the stage, the exact same distance, they had the lights on the other side.
Right.
But it wasn't a problem there. It was a problem on our side. So I don't know who we pissed off, but apparently somebody doesn't like content creators at FFG. So that was comically weird.
I mean, maybe they like us. They just don't want to see us. Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah. So the competitive events, like I said, the main event seemed to run really well.
Yeah, I want to say, I feel like this was one of the bright spots of the whole convention. Like
Mhm.
like the
The
big
pace.
the big events ran smoothly. They ran on time.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any rumors of like competitive judging issues or anything like
I
that.
did hear of a couple.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, so one of them was day 3. So our buddy Andrew Cox, aka Reflex.
Yes.
So he was playing, I guess, a European gentleman. So there was some. He didn't seem like he knew English. Didn't know English, but didn't speak it fluently. Like, it wasn't the best
Language
So
barrier.
there was a bit of a language barrier. That's the better word. And so he got to a point in the game where it was he played Force Lightning attack. He wins the game. So he says that, and the guy says, "No, I heard attack. You have to attack." And he had already claimed. So, like, it was weird. He calls the judge. Judge says, "No, I heard attack. You have to attack." And it's like he laid down the card, said Force Lightning, then attack, I win. Like, kind of saying, "Hey, this is what I'm doing, I win."
Yeah.
And both of them said, "No, that's not what happened." And then he appealed to a head judge. Head judge says, "We're going with what happened." And it's like, one, it's not what happened. Like, what Andrew said happened is what happened, according to a couple people who are watching. But two, even if it wasn't, like, it's not like he couldn't have taken the action back, because
his opponent had claimed he should be able to do basically
it's not like
whatever
he gained
wants.
information from saying attack. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason that shouldn't have worked out. So that was the difference between him getting top 16 prizing. And so that was a pretty feels bad from what I heard, obviously.
Okay.
I also heard of a few people like that would have other nationalities like playing against, and they would have a friend behind them speaking a different language. And it's like,
oh yeah, they need
I
to
don't
shut
know
that
if you're
down.
cheating or not.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to assume the worst, but at the same time, like, I have no idea what you're saying. So
Mhm.
I feel like that's kind of shady. But other than that, I didn't hear of hardly any issues.
I mean, given the size of the event, we were talking what?
Almost 2,000 players.
Almost 2,000 players.
It was almost 600 players day 2, and then what, 73 day 3.
Yeah.
So.
And no melee glitches.
No melee.
That was one of the
glitches.
big fears with the convention,
What?
right? That we
Okay,
get in there.
Whoa. There was a melee glitch.
There was what? Okay.
It wasn't a glitch. Somebody at Melee forgot to check the box, "Do not publish deck
Oh,
lists."
that's right. They did do
upon,
that.
End of tournament. So day 1, all the deck lists got published. So the FFG had to make the hard choice of, hey, we just have to make it an open deck list tournament for day 2, because what else do we do to make it fair?
Yeah. And that has some weird gameplay.
Mm-hmm. Which the Bothan Network, Ian, who got 2nd,
Mhm.
you know, they had this spicy Kylo 5 Tarkenton deck that kind of no one saw coming. So did they have a disadvantage because of that? Probably, but
I mean, honestly,
how else do you fix it?
I think it disadvantaged me in my round 2, you know, because my opponent looked at my deck list and he was like, "Oh, I knew you weren't playing Bazines, so I knew I was going to win the mill mirror, right?" And it's just like, well, okay,
Yeah,
I guess I lose.
From what I know, the Galactic Open ran really well as well.
Mhm.
The only weird thing was they pushed it to 9 rounds, and we didn't get a mill break. So,
Ooh, that's a lot.
yeah, that was a lot. So
Hope you didn't bring control.
once I got to round 2, I was going to get to a point where I drew, and I didn't want to play control all day, so
Mhm.
I did scoop to avoid that. But yeah, so that was a long day. But other than that, like, I don't know what they could have done better there.
So side events, I think were a different story.
Probably
far
the
as-
biggest red flag of
Yeah.
the weekend, the whole side events prize wall thing. You can start.
Okay, so you know the first day we didn't have side event tickets
Mhm.
to even spend, which was its own problem. But day 2, you know, once we did have the side event tickets to spend, the like logistics of getting into a side event were really tough. Like,
Mhm.
I know on the first day people were like, we've been waiting an hour, you know, to play like a sealed pod or something. On day 2, I think it was a little bit better.
Yeah, they'd kind of broken it up into multiple lines. So that
Yeah.
seemed to be
It's
moving things a little bit better.
Started putting more staff on it. But there was still definitely like, you know, you're trying to do the math on like, how can I grind pods? Well, if it takes me 30 minutes to get into a pod
Mhm.
and then I play for an hour and the whole event ends at 6, you know, there's only so many times I can go through this process.
Yeah.
and I was doing it as a onesie, which made it even a little bit harder, because what would happen is, well, I'd get up there and maybe I'd be with a group of 4 and another onesie or something, trying to get into a draft pod. And they'd be like, well, we all agreed to split. Are you going to split? And you want to be that guy, right? But then once we all agree to split, we sit down, the judge gives us all the event tickets, and then half the group is immediately like, okay, we're out. I'm like, oh, I thought we were going to draft. I came here to actually play games.
Right.
And so that was like another layer of well, I have to go through the line, and then I have to find a group that will actually play, and then we have to follow through on playing. It's like this 3-step process to get a game of SWU accomplished.
Yeah, so kind of in that same vein, going back to the theme of different people get different results over the weekend. For most, you had to sit in line for an hour or whatever and play a side event. For others, they were able to group up. They knew a judge and were able to just sign up either for multiple pods at a time, and they would just give them all the tickets and let them go play 6 pods in a row without having to come back up. Or they would just have the judge and they'd play the pod, come back up. He'd say, cool, here you go. You want to sign up for another? Get it done. Go. So it was like some people got special treatment there, I guess.
Well, it's another thing. Like, if you know the process, then you can get through. But again, like, I'm not on all those comms, right? I didn't have a group with me, so yeah.
Also a similar vein, going back to the whole side event tickets weren't available for us till Friday night. So because they didn't have enough side event tickets, what they were offering was players could basically just trade in their side event tickets for prize wall tickets.
At one side event ticket to 100 prize wall tickets.
It was actually better than that originally the first day.
Right, it kept changing.
Yes, so it was better. So what ended up happening was you had people that were just buying side event tickets and going up and exchanging them. And so there was one guy that had 5 sets of Vaders and Lukes on day 1.
Wow. Because he just bought them.
He just bought it.
Yeah.
He literally showed up, basically swiped his credit card to several people and got it.
Right. And we'll talk more about the prize wall, like what happened on Sunday. And, that guy who has 5 meant there were 4 other people who couldn't get one.
And there was lots of those kind of people.
Yeah.
So, so side events were kind of a mess. There was also the league play thing. So basically, you could sign up for this league play event, which just meant basically you had to play 4 games over the course of the day, whether that was side events, main event, whatever. And if you got that checked off, you got 400 prize wall tickets, I think. But also, if you were one of the first couple hundred that signed up, you got a special edition mat. It was a synchronized strike, 3 ladies with lightsabers out.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool. So what happened was, basically that sold out in the first minute every day, because the way it worked is VIP badge holders could get in the hall at 8. The rest of us couldn't get in until 9. And so they would just form lines at everything and basically check out at 9 before we even got in there, and that was that.
Yeah, I didn't even attempt.
I didn't even
attempt to make it work.
That same concept happened with the pin passport. So basically they had 10 different pins you could collect throughout the collect space. It was actually the 2 leaders from each set so far. So like Luke and Vader, set 2 Gideon and Mando, set 3 Grievous and Obi-Wan. Who was set 3?
Yeah, Grievous and Obi-Wan. Makes sense.
Set 4 Han and Boba, and then set 5. Who's set 5?
Who were the spotlight decks? Maul and Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon, yes. So basically, you get those 10 pins, and so that also would just be gone first minute every day. So while supplies last was a very
it was a theme,
stark theme for the weekend. There was also this final day, the Darth Tyrannus promos. While supplies last, we got in line at about 10 o'clock because we didn't have anything better to do.
Right, an hour early,
and we were able to get that, but there were several people that didn't. So
and FFG decided to wait, that full out. Like, they knew there was a big line of people there at 10, and they waited until 11 anyway to start giving out the promos.
Yeah, very weird.
All right, so let's talk about the prize wall. Right, that ties into all this.
So obviously the first day, we basically couldn't go to the prize wall because we had no tickets.
We had no tickets.
We got comped 500. I got top 500.
Well, and then so day 2, I got my swag bag for being a qualifier and had a decent amount of tickets. I was able to play one draft pod and get some tickets that way. And then so I, just knowing I was coming back to the room and didn't want to carry all the stuff, I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and cash in on the prize wall at the end of day 2, take all my stuff back. And that was great because I got a lot of the stuff I was looking for.
Yeah.
But then day 3 is when the majority of people were like, hey, I'm ready to cash in.
Yep.
And
the line was 3 hours long the entire course
that.
of the day.
I mean, I heard 2.5 from people, but still, like,
yeah, eventually around 4 o'clock,
crazy.
It started thinning down because you couldn't register for side events anymore after about 1 or 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So those workers were able to shift over, and it started moving a little bit faster. But basically, for day 2, after day 1 was such a mess with side events, and I couldn't even do them, I was just like, okay, I'm going to play the Galactic Open just so I can actually play the game.
Right.
I didn't expect to do well. I did okay. I went 5-3 drop, but I was like, I just want to play the game at this point. I don't want to sit around all day again. So because of that, I didn't get to pick up my tickets until the next morning on Sunday. So at about when we get in the hall at 9,
there's already a huge line.
So we watched the presentation from Jim, and that's the next 3 sets, the competitive ladder, all that. We go get in the Dark Tyrannus line. I go double check and end up getting my day 2 tickets or Galactic Open tickets. And then we go back to the Dark Tyrannus line. So at that point, it's 11 o'clock. The prize wall line has only gotten longer since we've been there. So we go ahead and go to a panel. Come back after that. Go get lunch. Come back after that, closer to 1. Line's still 2-3 hours long.
Yep.
And it's just like, okay, well, we're interviewing Logan at 3 o'clock, so we don't have time to stand in the line.
Yeah, we can't.
So once we got done with that, we finally come up. Still like an hour and a half, 2 hour line. So we just go and watch the main event until the line basically dies, and we go up there, and it's slim pickings.
Yeah, there was not a lot left at the end. Basically, all of the promos like that you could have wanted were picked over.
Even the play mats were pretty.
The play mats were starting to get picked over too.
So I ended up going away with 4 play mats, but they're not any that I actually wanted. And then 1 silver pack.
Okay, I picked up this play mat at the end, which is a cool GC unique one. You know, appreciate that. Yeah.
So prize wall overall was very underwhelming for the weekend because I just didn't have the opportunity to get to it.
Yeah.
And you know, I guess I could have done things differently, but
doing things differently would have required you to stand in a 2-hour line, right?
Which is also ridiculous.
Yeah, there were not good choices.
Like ideally, I would have played side events day 1, gotten the tickets I wanted, and got what I wanted.
Right.
FFG didn't let me do that. So,
couldn't do it.
Was completely out of my control in that regard. So that was probably one of the biggest sour moments of the weekend, I'd say, for most people.
He's not salty at all. He's not salty at all.
It's whatever. The stream. So stream overall was pretty good. Doa, Charmer, and Dan did a great job casting, I thought.
Right. I thought the announcers were great.
I would have loved if they had like Josh from Next Gen Gaming or someone else that's just really plugged in the competitive community that kind of knew the players better. Just so you could get more of that story-driven content.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because most of it was they recognized, you know, this name from this tournament that ran a weird deck kind of thing. You know, they didn't sound like they were too familiar with the teams and whatnot. So there could have been more fun with the storylines there.
Right. Yeah. And that was a topic of discussion all through the week, right? Is do competitive teams add or subtract from the overall play experience? And I think the general consensus was that they added something, right? Especially in that narrative end where it's like this person who's part of this team versus this person who's part of this team, right? And they sort of square off.
Whether you're rooting for or against them, like it gives you some incentive to watch.
It makes for better
it's more
TV.
fun. Yeah. I'd say the biggest red flag with the stream, or not red flag, just hiccup, was for whatever reason, I guess they outsourced the production company, which was a good choice, but I don't know who had full control of the design of the layout, but the stream going from, you know, you watch one of our videos, it's the full screen, to
Right, they shrunk it to what, like a third of the screen was
whether
actual
the hand
play
size
space?
was literally over half the screen on both sides. It's like, I like having the hand info. That was great. But why can't I actually watch the game?
Yeah.
Like, unless it was blown up on the projector for a 200-foot screen, like, I couldn't really tell what was going on.
Now that was cool when they did put it on the big screens.
Also,
that was fun to watch.
For some reason, the stream just wasn't on the screens by the stage all weekend, and it's like, that was a huge miss to me.
Yeah, I mean they fixed it for day 3 so we could see like the final match and some of the bigger stuff, but it would have been nice to have more of that earlier in the weekend.
I guess apart from that, the stream was pretty good. Like, they didn't have any issues from what I saw.
No.
I don't know why they couldn't put a round clock on there. And if they're tracking hand size, why couldn't they track resources? There was a few times where I noticed the commentators thought they couldn't make a play because they couldn't tell how many resources were there.
Well, if even the commentators couldn't tell, we certainly couldn't.
Well,
yeah.
The way they were doing it is they had judges basically with an iPad over the shoulder, like keying in what cards were drawn, and it would have been really easy for them to also track resources.
Yeah,
for the video production of the stream. So I feel like that was a little bit of a miss, but I would have just preferred at the biggest point, just give me the screen to watch the game. Yeah.
So, there was Justin talked to this earlier. There was a variety of different things you could do in the exhibit hall besides like directly SWU related stuff.
Yeah, so the first day they had a giant TIE fighter,
which is cool.
We got a picture with it. That was fun. The next day they also got in a Millennium Falcon cockpit and an X-wing, also cool. There was like they had several like cards like on a stand that you could kind of take pictures by, or like base art. They also had like an Imperial like tunnel looking thing that you could take a picture by.
Well, and they had like live stormtrooper and TIE fighter you could take a photo with, which was fun.
Yeah, there was a cosplay guy walking around in an Imperial outfit with not a gonk droid, the little mouse droid.
Yeah.
All we can do is you just hear it coming and and R2-D2 was also going around.
R2-D2 was rolling around. Yeah, so and you know, I didn't avail myself of like the learn to play space.
Yeah.
Or
you need to learn how to play.
I need to learn how to play. Or like the figurine painting, all those sorts of things. They seemed like they allocated a lot of space and a lot of staff for that, and they weren't getting terribly used. So I don't know that, you know, I wouldn't say cut those things for next time, but
recognize that people want to play side events and get prize wall stuff.
Right. I think they need to think a little bit more about like staff allocation on some of that stuff.
The Build-A-Bear workshop was super cool.
Oh,
they had, Wampas, which was awesome. They had a Rancor like Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
Super cool. There was a Mandalorian bear that you liked.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Like I laughed initially when they announced that Build-A-Bear was going to be there, but like it was pretty cool.
Yeah. They did well with that stuff.
There was 3 card vendors, I think, and several random like Star Wars collectibles, and then like 6 different artists, I believe, had booths. And they had a play area where you could play against the designers every day. So that was pretty cool. So I feel like they did a good job with the non-SWU activities. Well, some of them were SWU related, but like if you weren't there for the main event or the side events and want to do something else, like there was stuff to do.
Right, like the not the A, not the B, but the C like group of activities.
Yep,
were pretty well run.
Yeah, kind of in that vein. Panels. It was really weird to me that they had any on the first day. Like, I felt bad for the Bucketheads guys because they had the first panel on Friday, and it was like, everybody's either in the main event or side events at this point, you know?
Yeah.
The main thing is playing SWU, so people are playing SWU, so I felt a little bit bad that they just didn't get the audience that you would have wanted,
But all the panels themselves seemed really well conducted, professional.
The content was fun.
The Venetians set them up really well, infrastructure-wise. Those all ran well.
We went to a Twin Suns panel on Sunday today, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
D-House hosted. Justin from the Bucketheads was there. Logan Giannini. I already forgot how to say his name. Logan was there, the designer, one of the designers, and then Brian from Golden Dice. And they gave some good insights, some fun variants to play with Twin Suns, so that was really cool. Originally, we were going to try to go to the Secrets of Power panel an hour later, but the line was crazy for that.
I don't know what the experience was for people who actually got in.
So it looks like they spoiled 3 cards and kind of talked about the set a little bit. So
yeah,
that was cool. But I mean, we got to the 3 Discord too.
so let's talk about just we've talked a little about communication from FFG, but one of the best parts I think of the event was getting to interact directly with FFG employees, because they're always great.
Yeah. So on a formal and informal aspect, like formally, we interviewed Danny Schaefer, lead game designer, and that'll be going up probably Wednesday. They also interviewed Logan. He recently came over from Chip Theory Games, so a board game designer. And then previously, before that, he had done escape rooms and puzzles. So it's like, I was just really interested to hear what he had to say, kind of his journey through design and what that's looked like. So we got to interview both of them. That was great.
Shout out to Serena for hooking us up.
Yep.
Love Sabrina.
Serena.
I'm saying.
Yeah, Serena's awesome. She did a great job kind of moderating both of those. And then obviously we ran into several FFG staff throughout the weekend that we knew. There's John Leo. We ran into him. Logan several times. Ran into Xander a ton. Jack, the newest FFG employee. Obviously we know him previously from the Golden Dice. So, every time we ran into FFG staff, we chat for a minute, talk about the weekend, having fun, stuff like that. So always great to talk to them.
They're always personable.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So love that aspect.
All right. So let's wrap this up. We've been going for a while. Best thing that happened this weekend. Or no, sorry. Let's start with the worst thing that happened this weekend.
Oh, sorry. Let's rewind back to FFG interactions. So let's go through the content creator event. That was pretty cool.
Oh, the content creator event was awesome.
So Saturday night, 7 to 9, they brought us into a special room. Basically, just everybody that had worked with FFG, did spoilers, stuff like that, and bought us some drinks. Gave us display mat.
Yub
Nub Commander. So that was great. And everybody was free to play games, hang out, chat, do whatever, and it was great. At one point, I can't remember their name, but one of the FFG staff brought in 15 boxes,
a ton of boxes
of Legends of the Force, and just said, "Everybody, come over here. Let's open packs until we get a showcase."
Yeah.
And so we had about 30 people. We'd all whip out the packs. Everybody on one, go.
Everybody did it.
Showcase. Another one.
And then Bucketheads finally hit it.
Yeah, there was actually 2 showcases open.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing to me was I opened about 5 packs over the course of that. 3 legendary Leias from Legends of the Force.
I mean, now you have to play them, right? You have to find a way to use them.
I don't know about that. But that was an awesome evening. And that kind of righted the ship of, okay, this weekend doesn't completely suck.
It was definitely the high point. I feel like. Yeah.
So best worst overall, like you said, the worst. I mean, it would have to be just the experience of Friday of, I came here to play SWU. I don't get to play SWU.
You don't really have a way to do it. Yeah.
It was really bad. And I understand that 3,000 people is way more than FFG has ever experienced at an event. It's there's excuses. It's season 0. That's been the excuse for months now. But man, they knew how many people were registered. How could they not figure this stuff out?
Well, I think that's my worst thing too, right? Is the volume of people and the line management, right?
I will give them a little bit of credit. It got slightly better at each day. So day 2,
they improved.
They broke out the lines into a few things. Day 3, they actually had people standing with the tall signs telling you this is the end of
where
this
to
line.
Go. Yeah.
Which, I mean, FFG's been to Gen Con for decades. This is a good method to working a big convention like that. They should have been doing that from day 1.
They should have, yeah. I feel like to a certain extent, we're 2 years into the SWU process now, and FFG has been mainly a design and sort of art house company, and they've built a big enough player base now that the focus is going to have to be more on logistics and management and the sort of grindy stuff,
Yeah.
right, that it takes to make this work.
That's fair.
And I think that transition is hard for them.
Yeah.
But I go into best thing probably. I think it was watching the final.
Really?
Right? Like the stage that they had set up was really cool. You know, and having the match up on the big screen with, you know, hundreds of us watching, like shoulder to shoulder with the designers of the game. Like I leaned over to John Leo at one point and I was like, hey man, so like which leader did you design? Like, and if they win, like, are you like king designer now? Right? Like you designed the leader that won Worlds. Like,
What
are
did
you
he
going to
say?
be head honcho? And he was like, yeah, it's me and who was the other designer for 5?
I believe 5 was Joe.
Joe, yeah, it was Joe. He was like, yeah, well, if Kylo wins, it's me.
Oh.
If Talzin wins, it's Joe.
Wow. I guess Joe wins.
Yeah, I guess.
Spoiler alert.
But that was a really cool moment. Just having the community literally together, watching the biggest game of the year was just special.
Yeah, that was very cool. For me, I would have to say just how many people came up and said, I watch your stuff every day. Or I read your site every day.
Yeah.
It's just like we have this kind of community within a community that, I mean, we talked about how many poker chips should we order. And I was like, I don't know. And you were like, maybe like 50.
I mean, yeah.
And it is just, I'd say over the course of the weekend, 100, 150 people came up and like out of their time, just caught me in passing or would walk up when they saw me and just said, hey, love your stuff, you know, watch you all the time. And like, okay.
Which
I
feels,
had no idea.
Which feels amazing. We really appreciate all of y'all. Thank
absolutely.
you for watching.
It was just cool to meet so many people from so many different backgrounds, and they all watch us or read us and enjoy our stuff. And I hope you like our hands, but that's what you see most of. But
you know, as always, let us know what you want to see more of. We were kind of thinking like, okay, what do we do next? You know, now that we've got an established set 5 meta, we might try some trilogies.
Yeah.
Show y'all how that gameplay works.
Yeah, I got to play trilogies over the weekend. That was pretty cool. It is interesting, just the different dynamics of that versus Premiere. But yeah, I do want to kind of experience it more. So
for sure,
excited to try that out. Talked to Parker from 2DB, and he said he was working on a trilogy validator within the deck list, so you could see if I pick these 3 decks, there's no overlap or anything. So
does it work for trilogy? Yeah.
So I was a big fan of that. That'll definitely make my life easier because I was like looking at 3 decks, like which 3 decks can I pick that don't cross over? You know, that was my first step into trilogies. So I'd definitely be interested in like actually building 3 decks specifically for trilogies and not having to worry about this one shares this card. I need to fix that kind of thing.
All right. So final thoughts. What you got for us?
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I had a fun weekend. Mostly because I knew a ton of people already, and it was just great to catch up with people. I mean, we basically spent every night with Parker and Ned from the Force Unlimited podcast. Force Unlimited, Force Unleashed. No. Wow, now I feel bad.
I thought they were Ice Cave.
No. Whoa.
But no, that's somebody else.
Whoa.
Who am I talking about?
Whoa.
Force.
Hey, Parker and Ned, I hope you didn't watch this far. Force
Unlimited?
It's Force Unleashed, I think.
Force Unleashed.
I think so.
All right, we'll edit all this.
No, we're not. We're not editing.
This is all coming out.
It's going up tomorrow morning. I'm not editing anything. I'm pretty sure it's Force Unleashed. Because I always think of it as TFU, the fucked up podcast. But yeah, they're the math guys, you know. So that's what I think of them as. Maybe I'll remember the name eventually, but
all right.
But yeah, I mean, it was just great to catch up with so many people. I mean, I played Destiny almost a decade ago at this point.
Yeah.
With so many of like the KTOD guys and other people from the community that it was, you know, it's always great to just see them again and, you know, catch up a little bit, see how life has changed, but we're all still playing the same Star Wars card games.
Same games, yep.
So yeah, definitely the people was one of the best parts of the weekend for me. And that kind of salvaged a lot of it for me. Between that and just the community overall. It's just great to see and celebrate SWU.
Absolutely.
Even through all the hurdles that were presented.
Yeah.
But yeah,
2 years. 2
Yeah.
years now.
we I got the email. I want to say the day we left for Vegas that our domain was renewing for the second year.
For the second year.
So
All right.
it's 2 years of Garbage Rollers doing SWU,
There we
which
go.
from the humble beginnings of playing Gen Con 30 card decks for like a month.
Yeah, right.
And then printing out, oh, a new card got spoiled. We can put this in
New
5 different
cards.
decks, you know?
Yeah.
How times have changed.
They have changed a lot, but
we're still
we'll
playing
still be
SWU.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's it for us. Vegas.
Never sleeps.
We'll see you again next year, hopefully, right?
Thanks for watching, y'all.
Bye.